Welcome to Lame Creations, Log Analysis Made Easy, a guide to help you move from being a lame analyst to a Splunk ninja. This video is going to cover Eventgen and how to replay events. I realize that I've made sampling in Eventgen, but I've never actually said how to replay the exact same logs over and over and over again. And so I'm going to demo that. It's going to be relatively quick because hopefully you've watched the other videos. Please look down below. There's a playlist. It'll cover sampling and stuff. But I realize there is nothing out there I could find very well on the internet to show how to just do plain old replay. You can do sampling and you can do replay. Sampling randomly grabs the logs from a sample file and plays randomly with, and then you can modify the logs. Replay literally grabs the sample file and plays them in chronological order, changing the time to the current time. And so it'll always follow the exact same pattern. So if you've got like an attack or something you want to replay, this is the tool you want to use, or at least it has a lot of value for you. So how do you do it? Well, first you want to make a sample file, sample seed. So I've got my XML Windows event log. This is syslog. If I look at these, this is going to be my, sorry, I said syslog. This is going to be my sysmon logs. And what I did is I just grabbed 10. You could grab a lot more, but I just wanted to grab 10. And you need to have the index field, the host field, the source type, and raw. It's a little weird, different. The sample files, you just grab the sample logs and you parse them. Here, you've got to replay them with this particular order. So you make a CSV and you need these fields. And then, and I missed one here, we need the time field. And then you want to run it in reverse. I'll explain that in a second. I'm going to put time here. The reason you do reverse is it runs in chronological order. And so thereby you need to make sure that Splunk displays in reverse chronological order. So if I put reverse here, it'll flip the order. So it'll make sure that the oldest event, the way it displays it will show up so it's in chronological order. And then I just want to show them, put them in this format so they can go into a CSV. And so if I run this log, run this query, I'm going to get back 10 fields. You can see they're broken up, and then my time fields all the way over there. I can export it as, I'm going to call this sample seed. In this case, I'm going to call it YouTube sample, and I'm going to download this, and we're good to go. Now I'm going to jump over to my instance that I'm actually trying to build this Eventgen, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to go to settings, and I have an app. I've already built the app, so if I go into this, I've called it Replay Generator. Replay. I built an app, Replay Eventgen, and I can come in here, edit properties, and I'm going to dump that CSV file in. Easiest way to do it, just grab that there, download. There's my YouTube sample, and I'm going to save it. When I do that, I can jump over here to my SSH, and I'm just going to do a listing, and we see an app server. If I go in there, do another listing, there's a static, and there's my YouTube sample CSV that I just dumped in. Any files I dump in, replay, using edit properties, and this little navigation will automatically appear there. So you could SCP it over, but you can also do it this route. And that's what I did. And so I'm not going to move this file because I've already built one that I want to use. But I'm going to come in, and if I look, there's a samples file. And I actually made my file called sample_seed. And if I go do a nano on that, we can see that this follows that format that I had before: index, host, source type, raw, time. And if I scroll over, we can see it puts all those fields there, and I grab the 10 fields, and there's all my logs. And there's my timestamp. So this is what I'm going to use. I know I called it this YouTube, but we're going to use the sample seed. And if I go back, now we can go into the default directory. And so I store, just like I did in my samples, in the sample directory, any files I want to use as replays. Each of these is different, but I'm only going to focus here on the sample seed. I'm going to go come out of here, then I'm going to go to default. And in here, I've got my eventgen.conf file. And I've got this. This is that, you notice you have a mode sample, and here we have a mode replay. We've done the mode sample, so I'm not going to cover that. Not going to talk about it. I'm going to come straight down here to mode replay. And you'll notice everything here is commented out. The only thing I actually need is this bracket, the name of the CSV file from the sample directory that I want to replay, close the bracket, and then write mode equals replay. Another field that's useful is interval. Interval by default is 60. And so if I don't put anything in here, it'll replay every 60 seconds. Or I could uncomment this line of code, and every 60 seconds, it'll replay my code. Now, if I do that, make sure to take off this piece there. Anyway, or I could say never replay the event. And that would be you want it to run one time and never again. I'll show you a way you can make that flip on and off, and so it can keep go. You can run it whenever you choose. But interval equals 0. That will be never replay. This is in 60 seconds. So if you want it to be every 5 minutes, it'd be 300. If you want to play it every day, you do 86,400, the number of seconds in a day, etc. And again, I just wrote this little query here just to remind me how to do it. But the concept is I could write any query, any data that I want to replay, and then make sure I just do table index. And when I'm done, I'm good to go. Okay, I've saved this. I made it. If this is the first time making the file, oops, cancel, you would need to restart Splunk. I've already put this in, so I don't need to restart Splunk. But if I want this to play, it's not going to turn on. It doesn't just naturally turn on. Well, maybe it will. Let's see. Index equals main. Let's just see what's running. I have an event that ran at 11:42 a.m., but it hasn't run since because I set it to not keep replaying. So what I can do is I can come in here. How do I get that event to run one time? Oops, wrongly, duplicate. I'm going to come in here, settings, data inputs. I'm going to go down to Eventgen, and I'm just going to disable and then re-enable. By re-enabling, that restarts the Splunk. So even though I can say I don't want you to keep playing, it will. It will replay it one more time. If I restart Splunk, it'll replay again. So those are ways that you can set it to go off. So I can come into Splunk here, and I'm just going to go index equals main, and there's my logs. Simple as that. All right, I hope that helps you move from being a lame analyst to a Splunk ninja, and that you keep coming back for these videos.